All
Hey, hey,
righty.
hey. Welcome back. It's Thursday. I know we've caught a couple of people off guard already. I had a text that was like, so no show this week. And I'm like, hey, it's just Thursday. No big deal. So, welcome to Girl Chat Sports with Mo and Mel. We appreciate you coming in. If you're watching right now, feel free to share it so others can enjoy both my Mo and myself. And we appreciate you tuning in. We just want to get right into our guest right now. We're kind of stealing some time from her. So, we want to make sure we get her on and can get her on. But please welcome to the show, back to the show, of course,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Crystal C. Rob Robinson. We appreciate you joining in. Hey, Crystal.
Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes, we are so
Thank you.
honored to
Thank
have you
you.
on.
You know, I was looking back to when you were on last, and it was almost exactly a year ago. We were just, I think it was the beginning of April, maybe the end of March. So it's crazy that we've kind of come this full circle, and already so much has changed and been different for you. And we're excited to talk with you about it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe just a little background for us, if you could maybe, give our listeners a little background to you as to, your start in basketball and athletics and kind of a little cliff note version of your coaching and stuff. And of course, we'll share the news with everybody else too that may already know as far as your new gig with the Mercury. So we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I guess you could say just grew up loving basketball with two basketball parents that were both college All Americans. Picked up a basketball in the first grade, didn't put it down. Played college basketball. I went to La Tech, but ended up transferring. I'm one of the two NAIA players in the WNBA that played. Me and Taj McWilliams. Played for 8 years for New York Liberty. Played for three championships, and finally won one as a coach with the Seattle Storm. Just kind of been in and out of basketball in every aspect, from third and fourth grade to the pros.
And so
Great.
phenomenal, phenomenal. And then you wrote a book, and that's what we was
Yes.
the reason we had you on. And if you want to touch a little bit on that, because that
Yeah.
got into a little bit of your personal world, your upbringing, and the things that you have gone through to get the resilience to where you are today.
Yes. Yeah. I did. I wrote a memoir, and I'd say more that I wrote it for me. I just to to get everything off your chest, things that you went through, but also I think people look at athletes and superstars. I'm not a superstar, but the Diana Taurasi's and the greats, and you have this envy and this this want to be like them. But I don't think everybody understands that those people could have quit a million times. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just because they made it here doesn't mean that they had a perfect life or that everything was easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I wrote a book just to tell people you can do it, keep going. You can find your place if you just if you don't give up.
Most
And
definitely.
and the book is doing phenomenally because I check on it, and I ordered mine the other day, so I'm hoping I get it. But it's doing really good as far as reviews and the accolades through Amazon. That's why I was like, oh my god! I mean, I'm glad that this is something that is reaching to a lot of people for you on your book. Um, but talk about this new position with the Mercury. Let's talk about it because you mentioned Diana Taurasi, and what was that experience like coming into a team where she's there and you've looked up to her and that kind of thing and working with her now?
Well, it's definitely as a coach now, it's definitely great to be on the other end of some Diana Taurasi stories. Her slinging in some shots for me. But I think that one of the key words that you said in that was look up to. I'm older than Diana. Diana's supposed to look up to me, but I think that I have spent my career watching her grow up in basketball and just watching the phenomenal things and the phenomenal places that she's taking this sport. It's an awesome feeling to be able to be on the other side of that
Mhm.
for a change, and trying to help draw up some plays for her instead of trying to stop her. So it's a great. I definitely would take that any day. So.
Yeah, I believe that.
And what kind of excitement is it for you to be going to Phoenix that, newly acquired a couple great players into their team this year, already having a trio of stars? Like, what does this mean for you, and what do you hope to like be able to add to the team and a coach from a coaching standpoint?
Man, it means everything to me. I think that, Vanessa and I actually were teammates for a little while in New York, so we kind of had a connection, and it's real cool to get to be on the staff with a young and upcoming coach who has a lot of news. I love some of the things that Vanessa has in her mind about how she's going to do things this year.
And shout out to Coach Vanessa, who was
shout out to
previously
Coach
with the
Vanessa.
Las Vegas
Vanessa
Aces
Nygaard,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
So that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be a part of that, and then just not to mention, just from being an ex-player in this league, it is awesome to have the opportunity to be hired by other franchises. I think that's a testament to what you put out in this world and who you are as a person, and giving back to basketball. I'm just thankful that there are some franchises that are some franchises left that actually look at us, players who kind of built and started this league, that we're still valuable, and it's great to go to an organization that I played in front of so many unbelievable crowds with back when Michelle Timms was there, and just a long history of greatness and support there. So it's awesome to be a part of that.
Yeah, I look forward to this season tremendously, because wow, what a season last season. This team of yours came so close to winning the championship. And it was just kind of like that doggone Chicago Sky. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? But now that you are there and you're coaching, and no diss to my aces, because we got Becky Hammond, so that's swag too. What? And we can't wait to play you guys. What are your hopes and future for this team? What are we looking forward to seeing? Like, I'm not wanting you to give up any trade or play secrets, but what is the Dynamics team focus this year besides the championship thing?
Well, I think our dynamics. I mean, it's hard for me to speak to that. Like,
Yeah.
we have great players. We have a lot of talent, but that doesn't always mean easy.
Okay.
I think that one of the biggest things that we just have to do this year is probably be ourselves and stay focused and take care of our business. We do have the talent to do it, but there's so many, things outside of your control.
Right.
That can creep in and happen. I think that that's part of my job, and part of why I was brought to this team was to try to help keep everybody focused on the task at hand, and not get sidetracked on things that really don't matter.
Right.
But I think that we started, Coach V established some guidelines, playing those courts for me to speak to that, because I'm an assistant coach. It's Coach V's everything that we're putting in, and I just going to support and help that any way that I possibly can.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, I just can't wait to see you out there in action when we watch you on TV and stuff. And even in Vegas, depending on the schedule of if you play a home game with us. I'm not sure of the schedule. I think we do play the Phoenix here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So can't wait to see you there then. This coaching opportunity for you, was it something that you were
it's going to be exciting.
What's that?
I was just about to say it's going to be really interesting to be from bed,
Yeah.
Smart, really to be on the ball from back.
Yeah. It is. It's going to be crazy. I know you've done coaching before, but what made you decide to join this Mercury team as well?
Or what was that process like for you in getting, looked at for that position? Or had you been looking at other positions throughout the league? Or I think we might have a connection issue. I don't know.
Things that are official. No, we have a delay, I think. I'm sorry. I'm in Florida, and every time I come here, my connection's
No worries. No worries.
Our just connect. But sorry, I got sidetracked.
No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah. I think it's fading
Hello?
a little bit in now. Yeah. Can you hear us? We can hear you. I think it's that Florida thing. That doggone Florida. I tell you. You know,
Florida does
so
it all, man.
Yeah, Florida.
Ladies, I'm
telling you.
sorry.
That's okay. That's
You're
okay.
good.
I
We got
apologize,
you.
ladies.
No, it's all good. I said, Florida, I'm telling you.
So,
Oh, it's a root of evil. But yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
we're
I'm got sidetracked in your question. So you.
Oh yeah, no worries. We were asking. Mel was asking actually, like as far as the steps that it took for you to get that coaching position. How was the process for that? And
Okay.
And the decision to go ahead and go for it.
Well, as you know, I resigned in Dallas a year ago.
Right.
And as basketball works, I took a year off to write the book, well, to publish and do the things that I did with the book. And then I was waiting for WNBA jobs to come open to see if there was one that I fit in. Every job ain't for every coach, but I felt like this was a job that I actually could fit in and make an impact and help with my skill set. So, and then I have a prior relationship with Sky, and I've coached her, and a lot of vets I have relationships with. So it was just a good situation for me. So I was super excited to have the opportunity that believed and hire me.
That's great. I know we've seen some of the feedback like on Facebook and friends and fellow peers within the WMA community kind of posting about you getting the position, and what's some of that feedback maybe you've received or something that was special to you about, someone reaching out and really congratulating you about that position?
It's always nice. It feels good when your peers reach out and they accept and they congratulate and they do all those things. But I'm a competitor, sweetheart. Whether they do that or not, I'm gonna bring the same C-Rob. I'm coming. I love it. I'm glad that people are accepting and happy that I got a job. But regardless whether I get on back or not, I'm gonna show up and do the job when I used to play. So I guess yeah, I'm excited, but don't change one way or the other how we compete. So, and I'm in a portal with a bunch of super competitive people, and drop that in when the race.
Did we lose her again? I think she faded out again.
I think she's there. We're good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think so. Crystal, you there? She might have. Oh, there she is. I think we got you back. Hey.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I got a crazy look on my face as I'm trying to.
Guys, I promise you, we can redo this show when I get to Oklahoma, and this will be much better. I should not have. I'm sorry. I didn't really think we was gonna have this many problems. I actually tried to put you on my computer, and I couldn't even get it to work.
Yeah.
I feel bad about that.
No wonder. Don't feel bad.
I live in rural
Listen.
Oklahoma or in a little place in Florida, and I never had internet service here.
Listen, we've had plenty of our own internet issues in the city of Las Vegas, so don't worry about that. I guess we lost her for a sec. Crystal, if you're out there, don't worry about it. We'll reach out to you if you want to come back on. We'll be more than happy to have you.
Otherwise, it was a great few minutes of talking to you. Great 14 minutes. It was very impactful. I was excited that she was able to come on and speak with us and talk to us a little bit about her career. And we didn't get a chance to congratulate her as well as we wanted to. That doggone Florida, I'm telling you, Florida can be a monster. And it's like with weather and everything going on and the changing of, I don't know.
Well, there's that whole storm out there covering like.
Yeah. I don't want her to feel bad. I'm so happy that she was able to come on. And again, anytime, if it's next week when she's back in Oklahoma, we can do this anytime. Again. I'm not tripping.
We're gonna do it again.
I have no problem with that.
But we got the biggest points out there. We've got somebody within a year has now went from, she had, like, of course, left the Dallas Wings. She had been able to get in with the Phoenix Mercury. She won she was with the New York Liberty and got on there and got their member the Ring of Honor, which is a huge accomplishment in itself. I mean, she was with the team for 7 years, the New York Liberty, and so it's just amazing that she was able to get that achievement. And of course, during the back end of a pandemic as well, and a great book on Amazon that you guys can find called Finding Myself by Crystal Robinson. So
so when we play her, I'm bringing that book so I can have her sign it too.
And that's when she mentioned that. I was looking at my bookcase like, where is that book? Because I'm almost positive I have it here somewhere. So we appreciate you, Crystal. We thank you. If you just are tuning into the show now, you missed Crystal's portion, you're welcome to rewind or go back after the live show. And again, we'll get her back on again and get some more of those questions. We just wanted to mention and say hi to those that have tuned in. Natalie, we appreciate you. I appreciate Natalie was the one that was like, so where was the show yesterday? I'm like,
that's because she's not
those that aren't on social media, they don't understand what happened. So
we have to
Natalie, the name of the book is Finding Yourself by Crystal Robinson. It's on Amazon. Really good. So yes.
Hi, Natalie.
Shout out to Justin Lewis. Thank you too.
Justin.
We've got a little couple Seahawk tidbits to discuss as well.
Yes, we do.
Good Lord.
I need that DK Metcalf body and diet type situation.
Man,
we'll have to talk about that.
We'll just start with that because I did get the chance to get that on here. Mo sent this to me and I was like, wait a minute. So how is this? Even when I was at the young age of 22 or whatever, this was never a diet that I could have been able to handle. DK posted that he eats 1 meal a day, drinks 1 coffee, and eats 3 or 4 bags of candy.
What?
Bags.
Bags. 3, not 1, 3 or 4.
Not like 3 or 4 candy bars. We're talking 3 or 4 bags of candy. And has that like chiseled, I can't.
I can't.
Let me eat 3 or 4 mini size bars of anything, and it's not a good look for your girl.
I can't either. I can't. That's crazy.
It's funny that I haven't seen a lot of today, especially from those that we hear all the discussion. We discussed about Leah Thomas. We've discussed the trans community last week. Then with all those people that had the trans community in their mouth with something negative to say, of course, nobody wanted to mention that today is also International Transgender Day of Visibility. So we want to make sure we acknowledge that here and that we support those of the trans community, as well as D. Wade. Bringing it to light as well, again, discussing that, his child has the right and ability to see and be whoever they want to be in this life. And I'm going to make sure of it. Nothing changes with my love. Nothing changes with my responsibilities. Only thing I got to do is get smarter and educate myself, which would be a great point for all those mostly men out there with their toxic masculinity. Get out there and educate yourself. But hey, we can't lead a horse to water, can we?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't have to be led. They just want to be insightful and knowledgeable about things. But whatever.
I mean, you would hope. So, I don't even know how much time we need to spend on this because I think everybody's been exhausted with the fact. But of course, major hot topic, which everybody's been discussing since Sunday night and the Oscars, would be the infamous slap heard basically around the world of entertainment and pop culture between Will Smith and Chris Rock in regards to Jada Pinkett Smith's hair and being bald. Whew.
Is she bald or is she shaved low?
Shaved low?
Yeah. Because there's hair still on her head. I still see
and she has been bald before, let's be honest. This isn't her first time being bald and it was a shock to anybody. I mean, here's the deal. She has a great head. Any woman that can go bald, period, or shaved head, has a great head. I mean, I think, listen.
I feel like a lot of women have reclaimed their crowns with that. I'm seeing more and more women with shaved haircuts, colored, dyed, completely clean shaven on their head and owning it, looking fierce, coming through like what? But honestly, this whole situation, yes, it is rather exhausting, but I think the exhaustion is the fact that no one saw it coming. And it's just like I honestly thought it was fake. Like I honestly,
I think everybody did.
I thought it wasn't real until we saw Will, yelling not once but twice. And to me, what I saw was a man that clearly is damaged in some sort of capacity, translate aggression towards another human being that really was making a, dare I say, non-offensive joke. Because in my opinion, I don't think that was offensive.
No.
But everybody has a right
From
to
a
feel the way they wanna
comedian, by
feel.
the way. It's a joke from a comedian. Most of the
From a comedian,
times,
yes, you're
I
a
mean, you're
comedian.
gonna get
You're a
that type
comedian.
of
You're a comedian,
yeah.
and a lot of those jokes from the award ceremonies, be it ESPYs, be it Grammys, be it all of that, they are known for roasting. And I don't think that was a severe roast, being that it was G.I. Jane. And a lot of young people, I don't think they knew the connotation of what G.I. Jane was, but that was a 1997 movie. So some people probably weren't even born then, or just born. And not knowing that this chick was a badass in this movie. Not to mention, Demi Moore looked fabulous with the buzz cut.
Absolutely.
And I understand being a Black woman and the whole, and any woman. This is not a race-based thing of alopecia. Any nationality can get alopecia. I know people that are men that have alopecia and are literally wearing toupees to this day, or wigs, if you will, because of alopecia. And I understand that can also be traumatic for you to know that parts of and pieces of hair on your scalp can necessarily fall out to the point where you don't know how to manage it, especially with Black women, our imagery. We love our hair. We try to embrace it as best as we can. We've been dismissive and we've been dissed and dishonored about our hair. The fact that there's an act that allows everyone in that space, including men, to wear their hair naturally out of their scalp without being discriminated against or jabbed on or anything in the workplace is kind of crazy within itself. I don't even know why they had to sign a bill like that. It made no sense. But anyway, we're here. And so for her to say that, first of all, the man laughed at first, and then he looked to his wife and she wasn't too happy about it.
And she had laughed too during did you guys catch the back of them? They showed a different angle of behind Will and Jada while this happened.
Yeah.
And she had laughed before. She had laughed when Chris Rock had rebutted after the slap. Like, it wasn't, you see that there's some issue already in regards to Jada.
Yeah, I think they really thought that was a joke. Even when he got slapped, I think that everybody, like I said, thought it was part of the skit, because they have been doing little bits, like Regina Hall did one where she brought all the fine men up there. She even invited Will up there and even made a jab about their personal situation, saying, Jada, it's okay. I know you give me permission to have Will up here, so you said you can make an exception so he can come on up. And so I thought that was just cute. And I think when it was his turn to present for the documentary, he started with Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, and it just rolled into the segue of Will and Jada. And I think, not to mention, like I said, she had a green dress on that was kind of a military green. I don't know. The buzz cut. She's always exhuming this badass persona to me personally. She has always been an epitome of Black beauty, of standing in her own skin. And I even saw videos referencing where she had no problem with cutting her hair, and if people,
there was a whole red table talk on it too.
Yes, and releasing that energy. She never discussed the alopecia part of it until probably maybe a couple of years later when she found out what it was. But she and her daughter were both talking about it. Not to mention, I love having no energy on my hair. So I just get kind of confused as to what set that off. And I don't think it was the joke necessarily. I think it was the fact that there was a buildup with Will, and you clearly saw the man having a meltdown.
Yeah. And she was looking great, Derek. You're right.
She looked great. She always looks great. I've never met anybody in this audience, in the space, that called Jada Pinkett ugly in her entire career like that. I've never seen anyone diss this woman calling her ugly. And to make a G.I. Jane joke, and I think it was Tiffany Haddish that had gone back and said some things referencing that meant kind of a lesbian thing back in the day when people called folks G.I. Jane, which I get, but I never heard that. And even not even knowing that, and knowing that that's not what it's about, you can't say that that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the fact that, hey, I did not know this woman had alopecia.
Well, you didn't. I don't think Chris Rock knew. Most people hadn't known.
Like, didn't say he didn't know, but I just kind of feel bad on both ends. And the fact that they allowed this man to sit down there and stay there. And I love that we're here on Thursday, because it's giving a lot of insight to more revelations coming out about this. But It's bad.
Well,
And I
you
have,
also do. Here's my thing too: is if you are the strong woman, no matter what your race is, and you are with your husband, and no matter whatever entanglements you've had in life, you're there to support him on a big day where he most likely and did win Best Actor. You wouldn't want your husband doing some crazy stunt right beforehand. You want him to sit his butt down and just
I would
relax.
have stopped it. I would have been dragging his Tom Ford suit or whatever he was wearing up that
Right.
state
Like
to
he
stop
was
him.
going slow too. So it wasn't like he'd be
Well,
like,
now the
hey,
walk
babe,
was long.
stop. Babe, babe.
The way the lock was long, but when he got up there, I don't think she knew that that's what his intent was going up there either. Just like
Gotcha.
anybody else, because even Chris was
We
joking,
didn't know.
like,
We
okay,
didn't
here
know.
comes Richard, and then that happens. And I just want to say, people are really, really, this is such a crazy thing, because people are saying, oh, it was in front of this white audience and it made us look bad and all that. I'm sorry. There's been occurrences where every race has looked bad. Okay. This is not, this happens. Okay.
Right.
My issue with all of that is the fact that here we have a man that clearly is showing some brokenness in some sort of capacity, strike another man, which it is assault and he was wrong, with his own trauma and stuff. Because if you know Chris Rock and know any past interviews,
He has his own stuff.
this man has talked about his childhood
Mhm.
bullying every day, comparing it to Tim Robbins in Shawshank Redemption. Every day he was the only black kid going to a school where they humiliated him, hung him upside down, did rapish behavior. You say he didn't get raped, but rapish behavior, bullied him, beat him, do all these things, only to have that same trauma reactivated by a person that looks like you and it's not the oppressor on a stage in a white space that will keep continuously playing on and on and on. No one checked on this man except Charlamagne, from what I understand, and Wanda Sykes and a few. But I'm more concerned. I'm not even worried about the Will and Jada thing, because they're about to do a red table talk on it, so we're gonna find out more. But who's checking on Chris? Because that has to be tough. And we get in this nomenclature about protecting Black women and what that looks like. And to me, that wasn't it, in my opinion. That was not it. Any woman that's going to send a man out there to do some stuff like that will either have to pay bail money, legal fees, or funeral costs. Because in the streets, there's repercussions to doing some stuff like that. What protecting a Black woman, in my opinion, looks like is when Senator Cory Booker was giving that speech to Ketanji, who was in a 4-day interview with people trying to bring it to her on her inequities of not being able to be a Supreme Court justice. That is protecting a Black woman. Protecting a Black woman is the same as, shout out to Joe Buttons, when those two Black clowns got on their little podcast about we don't date the Shaniquas and we don't dabble in the dark. And he went on them and a few other people. That's the protection that I'm looking for. I am looking for physical protection in the Black man, but it's only when I feel my life is in danger. I am being assaulted personally, not off of other words. Okay. And to me, that just wasn't it. And I think we're in this space and this generation where young people are seeing love and hip hop and think violence is the answer.
Oh, Lord.
Reality shows where fighting,
love and hip hop, the housewives or whatever, like
all of that. And so I think we get kind of miscued on what saving someone or somebody looks like.
You had mentioned a little bit about, Chris Rock having been bullied and the target of hate or in whatever. He even mentioned, I saw a show or interview he did, that the last time he got bullied was his first year of SNL. Like he had got robbed. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like this man was on SNL and still getting harassed and abused. And I don't remember.
And not for nothing, you have to give it up for Chris Rock for having the strength to not follow through at what he was about to say. It sounded like he was about to say, ooh, I could, and paused, or acting off of that. And you also have to give the man credit for still protecting Will Smith in that same space. He protected this man by not pressing charges. He also protected this man by, when he did his debut comedy show last night, not mentioning a single thing about it.
He just mentioned that he was still unpacking it. He was still trying to deal with it, and that
but you still protected this man. You know what cops do to Black men, and you still didn't want to press charges on this man, where anybody else would have done that. And not for nothing, I hate when people are picking sides and cherry picking on a comedy thing about hair, when many comics have talked about weaves, locks, wigs, anything derogatory to Black women and their beauty standard for hair. No one has come after them. Seeing comedy.
There's been comedy for centuries. Like this is a long-standing thing. The fact that he got so triggered by this one joke has a lot more to say.
And I don't think it was the joke that triggered him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it was the little piece that threw him over the edge.
It was the look, and I think it was a validation, a man having to validate. He's saying protecting his family and stuff, but you're not protecting your family when you're making you're looking stupid out there and embarrassing yourself and everyone else. And then the fact that he tried to mention Richard Williams in his speech, and Richard Williams like, no,
don't put me in this.
We don't condone no violence now. I ain't never done
at
that.
all.
What
no,
you're saying,
don't
brother,
put this.
is totally off script. But both of them need some healing, and it's an unfortunate situation, and it's unfortunate that this video is going to be ubiquitous and it's going to live on, and somebody who is on the receiving end of that has to relieve their trauma all over again. And like I said, if we're supposed to be, if Black people, or especially Black men, are supposed to be my brother's keeper, this, that, and the other, you're not going to inflict trauma on a man that has clearly said in interviews he's had stuff. Just like he didn't know you had the alopecia.
Why do that?
Man not have known he had a nonverbal disease, a disorder.
Yes.
He can't read nonverbal cues and understand he only understands words. And so, and to have this happen to him, I feel bad for Chris. I really do. Like, I think that was just kind of messed up. I just think, we as Black people, I think we need to be a better, I think that's why the conversation needs to keep going on, because I think we need to do a better job of holding each other accountable when right is right and wrong is wrong.
Right. Shout out to Miss Bondi and
and the layers of Will. He has been struggling for a while, but who is the catalyst of that struggle? Like, when Beyonce and Jay-Z got in that elevator situation, you didn't see a red table talk about that. But I guarantee you, if it was Will and Jada, some other third party, there would have been a red table about that. This man has been battling a whole bunch of stuff in his home that's just not good, and I think there's a build up to that. And I think there'll be some reckoning stories coming out after this.
Most definitely.
There's
a whole bunch of people that are even wondering, like, why are you sticking up for a woman that is not only yours? Like, you had to share her.
It's not even that. It's the things of what's within their relationship that he's putting up with this woman. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but I'm just saying, it's people hurt people, and so you're hurt, you hurt somebody else, and then it's like you're not a victim unless you volunteer. You don't have to go on.
And a red table talk is not therapy.
Well, you don't have to go. You don't have to go on there and let your wife explain another thing that you already are trying to still process and unpack and feel a certain type of way about. You're a megastar. You're worth 350 million. 350 million megastars don't do this. Like, I can't believe that I've seen so much transparency on them.
Yeah, it's a lot. Needless to say, out of the bazillion memes and videos we've seen in regards to it, I think the one that hit home most to me was this one.
Yes.
I mean, that's me getting smacked every release. Right. And unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. Yeah. And she wasn't selected. You're
face for real.
Yeah, so
slap in the face for real, like with the sneakers for real.
We will
like
definitely be getting to some sneakers later in the show.
Yeah, but that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah,
and I think it's
bad.
Really bad. And I think there needs to be tough conversations of who your loyalty lies to. Like I said, Cory Booker exemplifies what protecting a Black woman is. Ketanji was going through it in a job interview. And
her best friend that was there too, that she really put down
for her. A man speaking up for this sister and telling her how empowered and everything he was. That was the realest thing of protecting a Black woman I could ever see. Cory Booker saying to Ketanji Brown Jackson, a woman going for Supreme Court vetting, who was getting every single jab thrown at her. He spoke up for her and talked about her resilience and how proud he was of her and all of that in that space. That's protection to me. I'm not going to send no man out there to fight and then they don't wake up the next day because they dead or some kind of crazy stuff because you didn't chose violence on some dumb stuff. I mean, no real woman would allow that. You're going to stop. Men are the protectors when I'm physically assaulted, okay? When I'm physically being threatened of my life.
Or in danger. Your life is in danger,
yes. But that, I'm not running no guy out there to tell him to go fight somebody on some words. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And Chris's family, yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, we watched a Black man attack another Black man that has trauma himself when he has always been traumatized for people that don't look like him.
Mm-hmm.
And you have reactivated a man's trauma from a guy that looks like you. Thought we was our brother's keeper. I've never seen it. I'm watching this game. Sorry to digress, but yeah, these Lakers.
How them Lakers doing?
We'll talk about that.
All right. Well, some equally sad news came about for me today.
Oh yeah.
My numero uno, my favorito, my B-Wags, my Legion of Boom, last man standing, Mr. Bobby Wagner, was picked up by the Los Angeles Rams today for 5 years, $50 million. Guys getting paid. Shout out to Bobby for getting that money. But you're going to a divisional rival. We're going to have to see you twice. And you're going to be after us. Not only that, but you're joining forces with the super LA, Rams. Like these guys, their pockets are limitless. I don't know when these Rams are going to be able to just stop paying people, because it's like a Yankees issue or something. Like I feel like they just have unlimited money and just gonna keep on going and going forever. So
I mean, poor you. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for your team. I don't see any quarterback.
I mean, I do know this. If the Rams make it to like the Super Bowl, or I know this, that they're winning the division of NFC West. I will be wearing my Bobby Wagner jersey to whatever Rams game into the playoffs that they go, because I feel like at least there's a portion of that I can cheer with. I'm glad it's not the Niners. I'm glad it's not the Cowboys, but still being in the same division is just, it's tough.
It is tough. It's gotta be. I mean, you guys are literally in a rebuilding period. Doesn't look like you're drafting any new quarterbacks. Looks like Baker Mayfield is still sitting out.
Well, we may draft a quarterback. We might not just be getting
draft,
any.
But you're not getting any trades. Yeah.
Well,
Baker Mayfield's still out there. So y'all can go for
Baker. Apparently, Cleveland's going to stick with Baker at this time and see what happens.
Because nobody wants him. Nobody wants this guy of trade value. You're going to have to literally give up first round draft picks and a whole bunch of other things to take him. And no one wants him. Nobody wants him. That's too bad. Case Keenum can go to a team and be a backup somewhere else, but you can't even go. Jesus.
Sticking on football news, Bruce Arians retires from coaching. He's moving into the front office. He appoints the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, and he's promoted with a 5-year deal, which is amazing for Todd. However, there seems to be some confusion. I guess when Bruce Arians was speaking in his press conference, he had mentioned about, when Tom had retired, he had thought about retirement, but he's going to keep on going. Then Tom returns and he decides that it's okay for him to retire. So are we seeing that there might have been some kind of issue or conflict between Tom and Bruce, and now that Tom's back and Bruce maybe needs to go, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but it just seemed odd that he wants to leave now that Tom's back? There's an opportunity possibly for another Super Bowl, and yet, hey, he's calling it quits, or he just feels maybe it's time for the defensive coordinator to take it on and make another move for them, or I don't know. I'm lost.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of a shocking thing that Bruce Arians was quitting. And remember, his only conflict, from what I understand, was the whole AB situation. So I don't know, like to your point, if he had an issue with Tom or whatever that is, but he's a lot older, and he's put in a position.
He wants more cheeseburgers,
and
he wants to,
and the fact that your successor is a black coach is great, and we'll see what that is all about. And, I don't know.
It's a lot. So it's interesting to see. And who knows, maybe Tom feels that Bruce could be the reason why they didn't win anything last year. And maybe this is his opportunity to, say, hey, I'm back. He has got to go. And maybe there's going to be some kind of change.
Yeah, maybe that was the stipulation for Tom's return.
Yeah. Speaking of, we had brought out AB being the issue. Now, Antonio Brown comes out. This is our Jugadores Locos moment, because it wouldn't be anything without having Antonio Brown in the conversation.
Yeah.
So he's been in the news a few times this past week. One, he says that he's not going to get any surgery or have his ankle dealt with. Remember the ankle that he supposedly had issues with when he was coming off the field mid-game of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's not going to get anything done or surgery or anything rehab until after he signs with a new team.
Oh, really? The team's looking at him?
And the new team's going to want you now. You don't even know what's wrong. What if something major was wrong?
Team was looking for him. I didn't even know a team was shopping him.
I mean, apparently at this point, it's a bunch of Instagram models that are shopping for it.
Yeah, I still didn't understand the story. What was that all about? Like, I really didn't get
So
all of that.
he had posted a picture of him and this girl, Sydney or something, Christine, allegedly the girlfriend of Deshaun Jackson, mind you, in bed. He's threatening to expose her if she didn't pay $5,000 that she owed him. What she owed him $5,000 for, I have no idea. And of course, we could sit here and, assume many things. But he had posted that, and then that kind of fell through. And then after that happened, Antonio Brown's children's mother goes to her social media. He had posted maturity is knowing you can fully violate but choose to chill. And then apparently she's going to come out with a tell-all book. Can you imagine the juicy tidbits in this one?
I wouldn't even care, to be quite honest, because the thing of it is you're literally shaking down a woman for $5,000. Really?
Well, and you're going to put it in
You're really trying to bustle a woman for $5,000?
Your kids are on Instagram, right? Your kids look at social media, right? It's just
like, aren't you a millionaire? Like, what's $5,000?
Plus, he owes everybody. It sounds like he's always had issues with owing people, his chef, whatever, and then someone owes you $5,000, and I don't know.
Like, you're really gonna shake down a lady for $5,000?
Kente says, "I wish him and Kanye well."
Man, I know. No lie. Like, yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms.
That's a whole other one.
This is why is 2022 so crazy? Why are we being crazy and loco?
And we've only filled in March. Like, we've got January,
April. I'm scared for next month. I don't know what to expect next month. I'm really scared. The only thing I'm really excited on this news of sports too is the Formula One racing coming out here in Vegas for next year. And it's going to be the night race, and it's going to highlight all the areas surrounding the strip and on the strip. Like, how can we
legal to race on the strip? It's about to go down.
Yes.
When is that supposed to be happening? Do you know?
It's 2023. They haven't set a date, but they showed the map of where it's supposed to go, and I am so here for it. Yeah, AB has been wilding. What else is new?
Yeah.
What else?
So, discussing Las Vegas and Las Vegas sports scene, I wanted to make sure everybody was aware. So, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the Las Vegas Lights are having a doubleheader with the UNLV Women's Rebels soccer team. They're trying to break the Nevada all-time women's soccer attendance, which is Saturday. It's going to be April 9th. So, admission to the game gets you 2 games. The Lights play Colorado at 2 p.m. UNLV women's soccer plays University of Arizona immediately following. So you'll get 2 games of price to win. Pat Cashman, and let's break the all-time women's soccer attendance.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think there's some more fireworks. I'm not sure if that's a firework day too, but there's fireworks everywhere. Things are going on.
Yeah.
Listen, it's great. There's also news that broke out. I think it was today. So there was a sports entertainment company that bought 25 acres of land out near Blue Diamond in Las Vegas Boulevard. It's to the right. You can see where the star is. Follow that line.
Yeah.
For $3 billion. They have a plan for a 20-seat arena, hotel, entertainment area. Supposed to break ground next year with completion in 2026. That this arena not only could house an NBA team, but it also will be just another venue for concerts and everything else.
Yeah, but then they're also building another stadium competing on the strip, right next to Fontainebleau. That area they just announced they're building another arena in hopes to bid for an NBA team.
Well, and think of it, one of these arenas could also go to the WNBA. I mean, the Aces could move from Mandalay Bay and go over to here. I would
love that. And then they're talking about behind that, across from the Westgate. My friend told me that they're building another sports complex for the high school amateur league basketball teams to play right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're officially becoming LA. We're officially becoming LA.
But except that we're all in an area this big, and there's going to be the worst traffic imaginable down there.
With prospectively 3 arenas in all the different vicinities. So you got 3 options, not to mention an MSG Sphere off the strip.
Every time I pass by there, I'm like, this is going to be so intense.
It is.
So intense.
It is. It's crazy.
Right. Another Las Vegas. So the Aviators, of course, are Las Vegas Aviators. They have their home opener April 5th, which I believe is next Tuesday, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesday, Monday,
Okay.
Tuesday. I think it's Monday. Sorry.
Okay.
No, Tuesday, April the 5th versus Reno. It's going to be their very first homestead. It's the 5th through the 10th at Reno, at the ballpark. Of course, on the ballpark in the Summerlin, near downtown Summerlin. For all of the beer drinkers out there, $2 beer night on April 7th, which is a
Nice.
Thursday. Fireworks are also on Friday, April 8th. So
Nice.
baseball season is back for the Aviators. Also for any of our 50 and over crowd out there, ladies, this is your chance. The Las Vegas Aces are starting the High Rollers auditions April 6th. The High Rollers will be the senior dance team for all women. I believe it's all women. It could be maybe men and women, but it's 50 and over to participate on the Aces senior dance team. Also, they are also auditioning that same day for the Wild Card Crew dance team too, but
I just thought kind of wish I was 50 to a certain degree, because I like to dance.
A handful more years, and we all both could be up there as the
I'm
high
3
rollers.
years away. I'm 3 years away from being in the dance troupe.
It's sad that we're both closer to the High Rollers Club than the actual wild card team.
I know. And speaking of Aviators, you didn't mention too that they had just announced that their venue, that Las Vegas ballpark, is going to be smoke-free environment going forward. So
yes.
no smoking. Yes.
And the Cashman Field as well. So Cashman and the ballpark are going to be smoke-free, including e-cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a change coming around for Las Vegas.
Yeah. I'm happy baseball is
Natalie, you got a few more years too, but I can see you definitely out there becoming one of.
She could do the other one.
You could still be on the other one, right?
Yeah.
Also for the Aces, they announced that season ticket holders will also get free parking at Mandalay Bay. We've already discussed this as being a great before in previous seasons as to why there's an issue with maybe attendance for the Aces. Free parking Mandalay Bay as long as you are a season ticket holder. Of course, you get the gifts, the VIP experiences, and seats start as low as $10 per seat per game. So check into that.
Yeah, the season tickets aren't even that bad, because I looked online at them, and
they're
actually not a bad price. They're a decent price.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. They're not too crazy.
They're not too crazy at all.
No.
I'm excited. So Hard Knocks, they've already announced. Not that I'm a Lions fan, but I love me some Hard Knocks, and they've announced that the Detroit Lions will officially be the team for training camp this summer. Hard Knocks, I believe it starts on August 9th, August 8th. It's in August sometime.
Okay.
So Detroit also was chosen for the NFL draft in 2024 as well. So it looks like Detroit's getting a little bit of sprinkled love around the NFL.
It's about time. I kind of want to tap into this whole thing, the life after Matt Stafford, how that looks, for them. So I'm really interested and curious of this. I will be watching. Not to mention that Winning Time series. If you guys are not into Winning Time right now,
let's talk about it, because it's good.
It's super
and
good.
I am not a Lakers fan, but boy, when I tell you this is some good stuff. Listen, Jerry Buss, hands down.
It's excellent stuff. I mean, I'm loving Dr. Buss. I'm loving his way of thinking. I'm
loving Jeannie in it, and her, addition to it, and what she's bringing to the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for next episode. I'm really excited for the next episode.
And we didn't talk about episode 3, where there was a lot of instrumental history to Vegas with Jerry Tarkanian's role of possibly being
and the
coach.
mob.
And I remember that story. I mean, I was a child, but I remember fast forwarding Jerry Tarkanian reading that book and stuff he had about his friend. What's his name? Vic Wise, I believe.
Yeah, it was Wise. I just remember his license plate was Wise Guy.
Wiseman. Yeah, Wise Guy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And not shout out to Piero's restaurant, the Glussmans. Shout out to them, because they're one of the last standing old Vegas restaurants. Freddie Glussman Jr. Shout out to them, because that scene that they had over at the restaurant was Piero's.
At the restaurant?
It was
Oh,
Piero.
was it?
It was Piero's.
Oh.
So it's still over there on Paradise at the convention center. I suggest you guys all go check it out. Still great food. Freddie Glessman used to be married to Diane Carroll for a stint. That's where all the Vegas legends used to go eat. It's got a lot of history to it. And that's where they had that dinner trying to recruit Jerry
Persuade
Tarkanian
him, yeah.
and persuade him. And his friend had so much gambling debt skimming from the casinos on top of, he was taking the skim on top of the skim. And you got your mob bosses over there looking at you, knowing that you cannot take Jerry.
You're not moving nowhere.
You're not going anywhere. So to have that intimidation tool come over there and Jerry must not read the signs of what's going on, what's happening here. And for Vic to unfortunately get murdered and then found like that, it just shook Jerry to the point where he's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make this move.
Well, and plus, this is the highest point of the UNLV Ring Rebels with Tarkanian there. He is a for real celebrity within the city. Why would he want to go to the LA Lakers with an NBA, league that's failing and the team that's terrible? Like, no one want to make that move. Of course, hands down, now you would love it, but
an unsure outcome.
Yeah.
And it was funny that he and Lois were in the desert, like driving, trying to find out like a way and got the call. And it was an interesting point to bring that out. But Winning Time is great. I suggest everybody check it out. HBO Max and Hulu. If you have Hulu, it's on there too.
And of course, I wasn't privy to times prior to Magic Johnson, but seeing the kind of like the turmoil that was in the team with Magic's arrival and the issues with Kareem and, kind of the inner team problems and, with the new coach. And I wasn't aware of all that before, like Showtime Lakers becoming the Showtime Lakers. I just figured like they was always Showtime Lakers. I didn't know there was this deep history and kind of a whole rebutton thing that was.
Yeah, I didn't either. And I also have to give it to Jeannie and Jerry Buss for the ingenuity to make the forum be something other than just basketball.
Yeah.
By saying, what entertainment can we have when it's off season? They were one of the only teams in the league at the time to offer that venue up for other things.
And they said at Disneyland meets Playboy Club meets what do they say where's USC the USC plays that the Coliseum / Hollywood Bowl, like they were trying to get all these things incorporated into one. And like I said, I'm excited for the next episode.
Right, exactly. I am too. And I like the fact that now we see Cap, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, do a side hazing and set Magic up for, you're about to be my bitch, if you will. Excuse my language. This is what I want every morning, and they got to do it right. And he's like, I know. And for Norm, or was it Norm or one of the other players to mention that, I never got his stuff right. He was like, you just walked into that. So now you really gonna have to do it. And Magic's is actually gonna prove that. And I kind of want to see if he does perfect Kareem's wish list and how their bond becomes something.
Well, we all know their bond becomes, so it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this started. There was like a little sneak peek of like Magic confronting Kareem and like finally just saying, hey, I know I'm a rookie, but we got to make this work and whatever you got to, so the dynamic is real. Then you sing the young Michael Cage, like that was interesting too. So.
And not to mention, let's see Pat Riley's story.
Yeah,
side of Pat Riley that we didn't know.
Who knew?
The side of Pat Riley and how
the assistant announcer,
Chick Hearn low key was like, I like you, Pat, but this is my thing to shine. It's just like somebody coming to Vince Scully of the Dodgers and saying, hey, can I be an announcer with you? And it's like, no. But he did it anyway. And it's like and I just want to see how short term that lasts. Because we know that bump happens. He's a successor to the coach they just appointed right now. I know he doesn't last too long, or he becomes an assistant to that coach and then made head coach. We know that. But I just want to see what the lead up is to that. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. And shout out to Adrian Brody, because it's a cool little character. And I can see Adrian Brody with the mob man look that Pat Riley used to have, the slick back hair and stuff.
It'll be good when it comes to that.
Winning Time. I love it.
Winning Time is so definitely. Speaking about the Winning Time, what are the Lakers up to right now? Are they winning?
Dwight just ran into one of the announcers, so he's shaking hands with them and giving them dap. He kind of ran into it. But the score is 52-57. We're in the second quarter. They're playing the Utah Jazz.
They just played the Jazz too, didn't they? Like not too long ago.
Yeah, got smoked. But we are now the 11th seed.
Well, yesterday, I don't know. Did something happen in today's games? Because you were 0.5 ahead of the Spurs in 10th
So if the
place
Spurs
earlier
lost today,
today.
then maybe we moved up to the 10th spot, but I didn't watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So you're on that, but you're on the cusp of either being in, barely making it in on the 10th, or being 11th and out the play-ins.
Yeah, we're not considered eliminated as of yet, but it's, if we don't win this thing, I mean, they're playing for their lives.
Up until today, you'd lost three straight in a row.
Right.
LeBron's been out for 2 games for ankle sprain.
Right.
The old men are getting tired. And of course, AD announced that he's going to return on Friday this week. He's been out since February. So is that going to make a difference?
No, it's not going to make no difference. Because he was never a difference maker when we was in there. We still lose games with AD and LeBron. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I have to give it up to the one kid. I can't remember his name. His last name's Griffin or something like that, from rising up from the G League. He's been out there balling and hustling for us. Not to mention, you're starting to see Malik Monk and
Austin Reeves
and all of them step into their own. And now you're seeing what it looks like when people get their hands on the ball and can effectively play.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a doggone shame we're not where the Boston Celtics are. These are two franchises with 17 championships, and we can't make. Neither one can match each other on a playoff thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then when you're watching a thing like Winning Time and knowing how special this team is, you would think there would be a further expectation to always be great. And I'm just
how they went from like plus 165 to win the championship, which it's now like plus 5,000. Like,
come on.
The year started off with people thinking, "Hey, this is it. This is it. We're getting back in it." But
I had predicated that this was not going to work with this team. I said it early on, and now we're seeing what I put out. Maybe I need to not say that going forward to next season. I should just put out a better mantra. Right? Don't jinx them. Yeah.
Well, my Bulls are still a little struggling themselves. Granted, they've already made it. Huh?
Y'all won tonight, though.
Well, yeah, and we won yesterday, so that was like a back-to-back, and that was great. So I think we're still in the 5th spot, but it was announced that Lonzo Ball is now having to rehab his knee more. They're hoping to get him back during the season. I mean, it's kind of like our Vegas Golden Knights that have been continuously plagued with injuries. Fortunately for the Vegas Gold, it's been really cute because they're playing in Seattle, and of course Seattle's a new franchise. No one has played hockey in Seattle really, so they interviewed the guys from the VGK, and even Coach DeBoer was like, "It's pretty awesome to be in the city." Like, even though I know it's raining there, I know it's pretty awesome to be in the city. The arena is beautiful. They did a great job at it, which apparently is the same ownership of the place that just bought that 3 or the 25 acres out here in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Same company that built the Climate Pledge Arena. So,
nice.
But watching the guys, talk about Seattle, and because they've had a couple days there, they played yesterday and they play again tomorrow in Seattle. The new goalie, Thompson, the young goalie, had his very first shutout, which was cool. I mean, here you go. Seattle sucks. The Kraken are terrible. They did not get the same juju as the VGK had when they started with with their inaugural season. So it's great that Vegas has this opportunity to try and get a couple good easy wins in, because they've been doing bad. They've had a couple rough spots, injuries everywhere. If they can make the playoffs, it'll be like this by the grace of God.
Yeah. And the thing of it is this is like, again, that was an anomaly to see an inaugural team like the Knights come out and win a championship. This is a little bit different. And you have to understand, some of these franchises that are still in this NHL league that are 30 and 40 years old have yet to go to a Stanley Cup Finals, let alone our team is still very vanilla. We're still a new team until we hit 10 years. I need everybody to leave our Knights alone.
It's only been 5.
Rally behind them. Don't complain. I mean, I understand the passion of your complaining, but you have to understand this is still a young vanilla team that is still trying to, quote unquote, figure it out.
Right.
Wait till the 10-year mark, and then we can start going in heavy on them or something. But right now we're still very vanilla. We're a new team. Same with the Kraken. We just gotta, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
I am spoiled. So spoiled on winning.
So spoiled. So Major League Baseball, of course, spring training is still going hot. What's funny is I found there was a game, I think it was on Tuesday, between the Capitals and the Cardinals. The Cardinals put up 29 runs. They had 15 runs just in the 8th inning.
Wow.
Okay, that was 29-8 in spring training. Granted, of course, it's spring training, but the
Right.
Cardinals had never got one had never had a regular season game with over 12 runs, and they had 25.
And that's all.
But I say all that to say this. You know, the MLB, they had released the City Connect, like a city jersey the NBA does. Well, Major League Baseball did one, and I'm loving these, even though it's the Capitals and it's Washington. They announced they have a cherry blossom jersey, and just in the first day of the City Connect sales, they have basically the highest record of sales for this jersey, which I think is
Wait, this is for the Nationals, right? Not the
the
Capitals.
Nationals.
Nationals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah. What
Yeah.
Nationals? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. I like the cherry blossoms too.
It's beautiful. It reminds me of home. The cherry blossoms are at full bloom at University of Washington right now. So for anybody out there in Seattle or traveling to Seattle, hey, if VGK guys are out there, please, if any of our guys that are out there covering VGK are in Seattle, go to UW, go to the quad, see the cherry blossoms. It's like the best experience ever. But also in regards to Major League Baseball, your Dodgers guy, Dave Roberts, he has guaranteed a World Series. Thoughts? Are you? I mean, they got a super team too, but is this going to be like another LA super team?
I mean, this is a franchise that won over 150 games last season and still couldn't close out. We're heading to the World Series. We lost Kenley Jansen, yet we still have Clayton Kershaw. We traded one of our other relief pitchers recently. Hey, listen, our lineup, our batting order in game looks amazing. Looks next level. I'm more concerned about our pitching. Yeah. I'm more concerned about what's that going to do defensively when it comes to the pitching side of that. Are we going to be able to have these closeout games? They're not having to. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. All Dave Roberts is really doing to me is saying that I am trying to validate me being the manager of this team with no hiccups. And if I have to say that, to put that out there, that's what I'm going to put out there. But I can't guarantee that. I'm not going to sit here and say that. Our batting order looks amazing for all of our new acquisitions that we just got and everything else. But our pitching is what concerns me. I don't know. Why would he say that? Why would he do that?
It feels like that's almost like the one thing that nobody wants you to say because now you've just put a jinx out.
You've set an expectation that we may not live up to. We don't.
It's like the guys that get tattoos of the Super Bowl trophy and their team before Super Bowl before the season starts, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
We don't, and I don't even want to jinx a team and shout out anything crazy that might happen. But we've had crazy things happen in these LA organizations. Too many strange things are occurring, and I just don't want another Stranger Things situation happening with this Dodgers team. But if he guarantees it, then he knows something I don't know. There must be some magic in the air. Bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it. All right, Dave.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get to some sneaker drops because there is some sneakers I want to bring up. But I do want to do a special little girl power moment. Okay. So these three ladies, trio of Congress women, of course, have introduced into legislation today a bill to evaluate the source of the problems and provide solutions within the NCAA. So you have Carolyn Maloney on the left, Democrat from New York, Jackie Spear, Democrat in the middle from California, and I think Mickey Sherrill, a Democrat from New Jersey on the right. All three co-wrote a federal bill that will lead to the formation of a 16-person commission tasked with reviewing the NCAA's actions and making a policy recommendation to improve what one of them called a caveman mentality that doesn't just insult our stellar women athletes, but violates Title IV. So I think these ladies,
this is phenomenal.
I'm impressed. Listen, it's too long in the making.
Too long coming, and it's phenomenal that we're getting this now.
Let's hopefully the bill gets passed, things can get in motion, because it's clear that although we didn't hear any instances of the women's athletes in this year's tournament, what they were going through as far as how it was like in years past with the lack of equipment and food and the rooms they were given. And we're running out of time, but of course, we've got the NCAA Final Four coming up. The women's games are on Saturday.
Shout out to St. Peter's. Shout out to St. Peter's. They did that. And the fact that their head coach has now gotten another coaching job.
Seton Hall.
Yes, and when he got to his press conference today, he invited all his boys to attend.
I love it.
And I love it from St.
That
Peter.
was great Cinderella story. They got to Sweet 16. They could not make it to the past they won Friday, but then they lost. What was it? Saturday? I think Sunday. Saturday or Sunday. So,
but it was a valiant effort for a school that doesn't have uniforms with logos on them and sweats that people were making fun of.
A school that has 2,700 kids.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah. Hey, with a small attendance of kids at that school, you have no choice but to hone in and focus on the sports.
Man,
you have no choice.
You
have
amazing.
Attention to detail at its fullest because you're not in a mass populated attended school. You're in a small school where you can focus actually on a team and develop them. And this is what it looks like. So I got to give it up to them. I think that was pretty dope.
It was amazing.
Got a new job. I still have Villanova taking it all. Because I had
Villanova
on my bracket.
Did you have Villanova to start with?
Yes, I had Villanova to start with.
I had Gonzaga, so I've been down. I
had Gonzaga and Villanova on one, and I had UCLA and Villanova on another. I had Villanova and Kansas. I had Kansas too. I had Kansas going to the Final Four as well. So they play each other. We'll see. I have Villanova. They've been good all season. I mean, the college games I would catch would be with the Villanova team playing. That's why I was like, "Ooh, they're really
I'm just rolling with Carolina. I mean, of course, that's my only tie.
I ain't rolling. That's it. The ties of Jordan. I get you, but
I want them to beat Duke. Like, I mean, who wants Duke to win?
I'll take that L. I don't like that coach over there in USC, so he can kick rocks. I'm gonna roll with Duke on this one if Mike Krzyzewski. But I feel like if Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K wins, because I can't say his last name. If Coach K wins, I swear to God, it's a setup. I feel like it's a setup. So if it had to be
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm going
to Villanova for this.
But of course, in the women's side, they all play on. So guys play Saturday at 3 and 5:50 p.m. Pacific time. The ladies play on Friday, 4 and 6:30. So South Carolina at Louisville. Dawn Staley is coming out with her girls. Here's the deal. I think it's UConn that was the only number 2 seeded in women. All the number 1s in women's basketball won except for one. Stanford had a great game. Paige Buckets, man, Paige.
Oh, Paige Buckets, let me tell you. All day.
2 overtimes. UConn has never really ever had to go into overtime ever in an NCAA March Madness in the tournament, but they did against I think it was North Carolina State, and this girl.
When you talk about the term of pushing P, man, talk about Paige.
Literally.
Talk about Paige for real.
Literally.
Give this woman her pushing P flowers for real.
And of course, Russell Wilson's sister plays for Stanford. So this is their second consecutive Final Four. So I know we'll probably see Russ in the building there in Minneapolis, the Target Center where the women are playing. So big Friday, Saturday in college basketball coming up. Let me get into some sneakers.
I guess we can do the sneaker drops. Let's see what we got.
Ms. Bondi, Paige, listen, when she gets to the league, she is gonna be.
When she gets to WNBA, because she's going to the WNBA.
And the April 11th is the WNBA draft as well.
Yeah, don't worry, you're gonna see Paige. I'm telling you, push it major.
Oh man, so much. Okay, so first up. We've got, of course, this Saturday, the AJ1 High 85, the Georgetowns.
I do not mind the Georgetown ones. I do not mind those.
These are not bad at all.
No, they're not.
Now, will I get them? Probably not. But I do love the Georgetown.
it's cool.
I like the navies. Yeah,
I like the navy too. I need a colored one.
So the Polaroid and Nike Dunk Low, they got a combo here on April 5th, of course, you see the usual for all those that haven't been around long enough, Polaroid is how we used to take pictures, with the whole Polaroid camera.
Buying the little Polaroid cameras now. That's the new thing. They've been doing that.
So these are actually pretty cool. I like the colors on these one. That's pretty nice. Nike Dunk High Ring Bling. If you notice the right there's that actual ring with the swoosh on it in the middle of the laces.
How cute.
Yeah. Those are cute. These come out on April 6th. We've got Reebok coming back with the AIs, Allen Iverson's questions. It's the mid Mocha Toe. Comes out on April 8th. I
No
didn't even
comment.
know they still made the.
No comment.
I
Look like
still
they look like the soul is looking at me. I can see
look
it in
into
your
my look
eyes.
into
Look
my
into my
snooker.
eyes.
Yeah. I think we brought them before. We'll take it again. So the Blazer Low, of course, with the off-white, they are going to be
Check, yeah, we'll take
released.
those.
Yep, April 8th. And they're actually, the price tag on these is like $140, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But you know it's going to be like impossible to grab because they've been putting this one off in regards to for
birthday passing.
yes. So we have the black electro green and the white university red. I would take either one of them. I think these are they're
Yeah,
so
I need
nice.
another pair off whites. Like I need surgery for everything else. I do.
So the Jordan 1 High OG Stealth. This is supposed to be out in July, but as you can tell on that tongue, the quality inspired by the greatest to ever.
Play the game.
Yeah.
I like those, just an homage.
Yeah, I just like how it has that in the tongue. Like not
Yeah,
most
I
sneakers
like
would
that.
have not many Jordans would have
But
that.
my laser ones are already gray and white. I don't need another pair of gray and white ones. I might go for those navy ones. The navy
I would
ones,
probably go for these ones. I need an actual pair that have gray in them.
Yeah,
so.
see, I already have a
Yeah,
gray
like
with the
those.
lasers,
Yeah.
but I would do these. If it, and here's the thing: if the swoosh was 3M on that, or the tongue was 3M on that, that would probably sell me. But because it's not, I could take it or leave it. But I like the embossing print of the tongue having that on there. But if it was 3M and you fold it down, that would be fly. Maybe I need to be on the Jordan design team.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Last but not least, the Nike Air Max 90 has its own golf shoe coming out. This is like April 5th. So for all those out there that see the color palette, this is not a woman's shoe. This is still a men's sizing. Oh, no. So
it's got a
for the men out there, it does. It's really the beautiful teal cream, it looks like. But these are the Nike Air Max 90 Golf, and these will be out on April 5th.
Yeah, I like those.
I like those too.
Some and happy belated Air Max Day to all our Air Max people that love the Air Maxes. I posted a few pics with my Air
I wasn't
Maxes,
in town and I didn't even pack any Air Maxes with me. And so
I just pulled archive photos in my Air Maxes. I know. Them, you know,
I was busy in the mountains. I barely had any service in all of this area of California. It was ridiculous. So but anyways, we appreciate it. Shout out to Crystal Robinson. Hey, we're gonna get C-Rob on again. Yes. We appreciate her taking the time. And to be able to making it, the schedule work. And, unfortunately, we've had the technical difficulties. See, you can say we've had technical difficulties ourselves.
Yeah, we have.
So we totally understand, but we'll definitely get her back on again at some point too.
Yeah.
But thanks to everybody that tuned in. If you're just catching the end, feel free to watch the replay. You can always check us out on Girlchatsports at YouTube, and we'll post the whole show there as well. Other than that, hey, we will catch everybody next week on Wednesday, back to our same day.
No Thursday. We'll do Wednesday. Wednesday.
Right.
All right.
And happy April Fools tomorrow. If you guys have some good pranks out there, make sure you post them for us so we can see. This used to be one of my favorite holidays with my dad because he used to always try to prank us all the time just with doing stupid things. But
cute.
Yeah. Happy April Fools. Don't get fooled out there, okay?
Don't get fooled. Please be careful with the pranks. Don't
fall for that pregnancy test.
Yeah, there's repercussions. They actually posted an article on what pranks were very caustic these times, and pregnancy test was one of them, as well as if somebody died is another. So
yeah,
you can't play with people's mentals on the April Fool days. Let's just make it fun and light. And shout out to Paul Rudd. I think it's Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd that pranks one of the TV hosts every single year. He never stops without failing. He has succeeded. So check him out on pranking. I think it's Conan O'Brien. I think he gets it every single year on a prank. And it's 18 years running strong, and he has not failed not one time. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love a good prank, just not so much on me, but I do like a good prank.
You like pranks, but you don't like to.
Right. I mean, I can do a couple. My dad's favorite was to always, like, if you remember the old school water, your sink fountain that has a little nozzle on it. He would rubber band that together so that when he turned on the water, it was just shooting you out in the face.
Oh my God. See, he couldn't do that at our house because when that hair get wet, it's an issue. You know what I mean? That prank don't fall.
But then, of course, you're making a mess in the kitchen. So
right. And you're making a mess in the kitchen.
Anyways, y'all have a great time. Thanks for tuning in again. Feel free to share, subscribe to Girlchatsports and all social media, and we'll catch you next week.
Yep.
All right.
We will see you.
Bye.
We're out. Goodbye.